Welcome to the Freelance Unlocked Behind the Scenes series, where I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at a Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first and the best conference for freelancers that it made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 14th, 15th, 2025. If you are a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Freelance Unlocked, and my guest is Judith Böhlert, a freelance software engineer with more than 7 years of experience, also known as freelance full stack fairy. So, hello, Judith.
Hey, Yuri.
Tell me a little bit about your freelance journey.
I've been freelancing for about a year and a half now. Before that, I was employed, I think, for 5 or 6 years. And it's been fun, I want to say. Like, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I think every freelancer can probably relate to that. But I do enjoy the freedom and the flexibility a lot. But of course, it comes with some challenges as well.
So since you became a freelancer and you are still a freelancer and you talked about freedom and flexibility, tell me just one thing you enjoy the most.
I think that I can work where I want and when I want. Like, for the most part, I work Monday to Friday, pretty regular hours. But sometimes I just take a Wednesday off and work Sunday instead, and that's great. And at the beginning of the year, I just boarded a plane to Portugal, and I didn't even tell anyone about it. And these are these little things that I can do as a freelancer, and that I want to do a little bit more of, to be honest. And that's just fun.
Give me a sneak peek into what you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
Yes, at the Freelance Unlocked Conference, I will be talking about how to survive your first year as a freelancer, because I somehow managed to survive my first year as a freelancer. Yay. And yeah, I think it's going to be very personal. Of course, it's going to be a lot about my journey, what I have learned, but I also hope that it's going to be very actionable, that people can really take something away from it and hopefully really look forward to starting their freelance journey and getting into their kind of solo business. And yeah, it's going to be fun.
There are definitely many challenges that freelancers face, and usually they don't know. They think it's like a just laptop on the beach. It's not always. Sometimes okay, like 1% it may be, but still, what was the biggest challenge you faced in your very first year as a freelancer, and how did you manage to deal with it?
Difficult to pick one, obviously, but I think for me the biggest struggle was all the different hats I was suddenly wearing. I'm a software engineer, I'm a developer, but all of a sudden I was also an intern and the head of marketing and the social media campaign manager and my own chief of staff and CFO and everything. And there's like so many different decisions you have to make. And I think each of those decisions you kind of have to approach from a different perspective. So sometimes what your chief financial officer might say might conflict with something that maybe your developer persona wants to do in that moment. And I think that was really something I was struggling with. And also that, yeah, you really have to make every single decision by yourself. Like, all of a sudden, you don't have a manager anymore or a team lead or colleagues. You really are responsible in full for every decision that you make and what it means for your business.
How did you deal when your mind colleagues fighting with each other? How do you choose who to listen to?
Good question. I think I tried to almost come up with some sort of sounding board or imaginary advisory board, maybe. And sometimes those were real people, like people in my life or other freelancers, other self-employed people. Sometimes they could also be maybe just people I admire, where I thought like, hey, what would this person do? And then I think I always try to be like very rational about everything. So I'm thinking like, what does it mean for me if I now accept this project? What does it mean 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now, and just kind of come up with a roadmap of what I want to do, where I want to go, and also how I can make all these different personas and people in a way happy. Like, how can I work on my business and not just in my business, and also, yeah, really focus on a long-term vision, I guess, for my freelance business, because it's so tempting sometimes to just accept every project that comes in, because you think like, I need to take all the projects I can get. I need to make all the money I can make. But I think sometimes it's also a good idea to just take a step back and really focus on where you want to go long term.
Talking about projects, so how did you land your first client?
My first client, actually, all of my clients so far, I somehow found through my network. So sometimes that means LinkedIn. So just people reaching out to me on LinkedIn because they somehow found me there and they have a project where they think I might be able to support. Or sometimes also people from my actual in-person network referring me for a position, or to people from their own network. But yeah, this is how I found all of my clients so far. Yeah.
How does it work? I mean, like, do you have some kind of specific strategy to build network or to be present on LinkedIn? Like, how do you let people know that they kind of should refer projects to you?
I think I never really tried that on purpose, but now my network there is really quite big, and I don't even target my potential clients that much with my posts and with my content. So I post a lot about freelancing in the tech industry. So my network is mostly other freelancers or people who are interested in freelancing. But I think in a way, maybe they want to support me because of that, because I put all of that content out there for free without asking for anything in return. So these people often, when they see that there's a freelance gig and they have roughly an idea of what I do, they just tag me, or they kind of throw my name in the hat and recommend me for a specific gig. And that is just super helpful, because that way I am exposed to many more projects. Of course, it doesn't always work out, but I just get a lot more opportunities, I think, because people by now, I think, know who I am and they have an idea of what I do, and they just refer me, because I think that we are kind of starting to build a nice and really kind and generous community there on LinkedIn. So that's really super helpful. And then sometimes when I'm on the lookout for project and I don't have anything lined up, I make a post that I'm looking for new gigs, that I'm opening my books. And there also, again, people are super supportive. They share it with their network. They comment. They, again, tag me in projects that they think could be a good fit. So that's usually how it works. And then sometimes I just get some like inbound leads, even when I'm not actively looking. But I try to at least stay in touch with these people, even if I have to say like, hey, right now I'm fully booked, but can I get back to you in 2 months or something? So I think it's really all about fostering these connections.
Can you usually get back to them in 2 months?
I do, yeah. I actually do. I have a list of people who I think could be maybe potential clients a little further down the road. So if someone sends me a message and it does sound interesting, the project that they are proposing, but it's not a good fit right now, I make sure that I put them in my list of like potential clients, so that when I am looking for a project in 2 months or whatever, I remember it. Because sometimes you go like, there was this person I talked to and they were really interesting, but what was their name again? So that way I have like by now I have a list of probably 10, 15 people that I just reach out to from time to time and say like, hey, just to let you know, I'm opening my books. How's it looking on your end? Do you need help with anything? Yeah, and I think that's quite helpful to just get the ball rolling.
Sounds like given value is so much better than pretending to be given value. Because what I see that a lot of people on LinkedIn and overall on social media, they like try to give value instead of really giving value. And I'm curious, I see that you have a pretty established personal brand already on LinkedIn. So what steps did you take to make it that way?
I think I just started documenting my journey. So it started pretty much with the start of my freelancing business as well. So when I decided to go freelance, I started to document it on LinkedIn, and kind of every week I would post about what I was up to, like what kind of struggles I was facing with German bureaucracy, or if I had like any interviews with potential clients. I would just kind of almost like a diary, just talk about what I've been up to in the past week. And I somehow really enjoyed it because it held me accountable as well. And then I connected with some really cool people that way. And I think that's also why from the beginning my personal brand really was very personal. So because I shared very personal moments and stories, and that doesn't, again, like that doesn't mean private. It doesn't mean that I shared anything about like my private life or my family or something. I just think the tone of voice that I tend to use is like a lot more personal. And I share the vulnerable moments as well. And I think that really helped me to build this personal brand, and then just be consistent with it. So right now I'm not super consistent with my posting because it's not necessarily my goal to keep growing and growing and growing. I think right now I want to focus more on making sure I can enjoy posting in the long term. But when I was really growing my network, I was super consistent with posting every Tuesday and every Thursday, and that helped a lot. And then for me, the main goal really was to start building this community, to connect with other freelancers, self-employed people, and in general, just interesting people from the tech community. And I achieved that, and that was super good to have this motivation and to know why I'm even doing that. Yeah.
For someone who are just starting their freelance journey, what is one small step they can take right away to ensure they survive their first year as a freelancer?
I think surviving is actually maybe a good word for it. And if we talk about surviving, because we talked about the whole community thing, and I think that's important. So I think by now you get an idea that I think it's super important to find a community of like-minded people. So I'm gonna answer slightly differently and tell you to get your finances in order, especially for the surviving part. So I think it's really important to have an idea of your monthly expenses, like what do you need to literally survive, and how much money do you have to make to cover your expenses, and what does that mean if you break it down to something like an hourly rate, and also just like do your research, connect with other professionals from your field, and make sure that that what you are charging is competitive. And yeah, I think that's really important. That's an important step to keep in mind. Like most of us work to make money in one way or another, and I think to have the finances figured out is kind of crucial at the beginning.
I wish to have the sky is the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, what is your quick take on the freelance economy and how it will develop in the near future?
I hope the freelance economy will be booming. I think it should be. I think especially with a startup economy, with AI getting bigger, there's like everything is so dynamic and fast paced, and freelancers are perfect to really bring in targeted expertise when you need it. So I think the economy should really be perfect for freelancers right now. When we are talking about Germany, there's definitely a few hurdles that we have to jump. So I hope that Germany will like make some small changes to make it a little bit easier for the freelancers, but also for companies hiring freelancers. But if we can somehow manage to figure these things out, I think the future for freelancers is going to be quite bright, actually.
Hopefully, we are also helping a little bit with the Freelance Unlocked because we are meeting, we are talking about it, we are sharing stuff, and people are hearing about it, hopefully. And yeah, what would you say to your friend if they asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked?
Of course, they should go to the Freelance Unlocked. Like, I'm really looking forward. It's going to be super fun. I was there last year, and it was super fun. It was great to meet so many people in person who I already knew from my online network. So I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting many new people this year. And there's going to be a bunch of interesting talks. You can really learn a lot, I think, expand your network, and somehow, yeah, probably find this new motivation to really focus on your solo business. And yeah, I think it will be fun to see everyone there, and we're gonna have a great 2 days.
And Judith, what is the best way to connect with you even before the conference?
LinkedIn for sure. So you can find me on LinkedIn, and yeah, always reach out if you have any questions, any remarks, and yeah, I look forward to connecting with everyone there.
Got it. And thank you so much for sharing your experience even before the conference. And can't wait to learn even more and hope to see you very soon in person.
Thank you, Yuri. See you soon.
And for those who listen, I hope you learn from Judith's experience and say thank you to her in real life at the Freelance Unlocked Conference on May 14th, 15th, 2025 in Berlin. So go to freelanceunlocked.com, grab your ticket, and meet you there.